Welcome to the Daily Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by No Halftime. Use promo code BBALL100 to get up to a $100 deposit bonus to use in the app. You can find the No Halftime app on the Apple Store and Amazon.com. And with that, we are off. Welcome to the show for Wednesday, November 23rd. Happy holidays to you guys. Crazy DFS slate for Wednesday with 13 games, and on Friday there's going to be no games on Thanksgiving, and then on Friday there's going to be 15 games. Every team in the NBA is playing Friday, so it's going to be a crazy couple days here, but it's exciting. I'm your host, Daniel A. Well, I was going to say Daniel A. Green. That's my Twitter handle, at Daniel A. Green, but I am Daniel Green. I'm the judge. You guys know me in the DFS realm that way. I am joined today by my good friend, Tyler Watts. What's up, man?
How's it going, Daniel?
It's going, man. It's been a crazy night. Couple quick things I want to mention, Tyler. The Chambers winner from Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? I'm all rattled.
It is Tuesday, my friend.
The Chambers because we're taping this. It's like 2 a.m. on Tuesday. I mean, me and you never sleep, man. We give the people shows, and we don't sleep. So, but on Tuesday night, the Chambers winner, Tyler, his name on Twitter is at MMILYONS. I think it's called, I'd say, M Millions. He put up one of the best lines I've ever seen. And if he would have played he would have taken down any GPP on FanDuel tonight, and he would have made a ton of money if he would have played some GPPs. But still, he had a fantastic line, so I just want to give him a shout out. He literally, if you would have had looked at the 9 optimal plays on FanDuel, he had 8 of the 9. It was just a remarkable feat. So congrats to him, and well done. Keep it up. So that was really good.
We should have invited him on. I think he could do better than me.
Maybe. Yeah, but that was it's just really cool to see. I mean, the Chambers. I mean, there's some people putting up just ridiculous lines there that would take down huge GPPs and win thousands of dollars each night. So it's man, the competition was really stiff, and it's just a fun way for our community and our listeners to kind of all interact more. So with that said, you guys know me. I like to talk quickly about dream killers and dream lovers for the night. Hopefully you had a good night on Tuesday. If you played these guys, you probably were like me and angry at certain points of the night. Bazemore, that stupid bum, put up 2 FanDuel points. The whole Hawks team, just a disgrace, Tyler, losing to the Anthony Davis-less New Orleans Pelicans by 30. It was disgraceful. Dame Judi Dench, even at 9K, this guy can't hit value. Infuriating. Emmanuel Mudiay, what a buster, Tyler, for the Nuggets. I mean, he basically got benched because the second unit for Denver played really well. Jamal Murray went nuts. So bad game for Mudiay. I had him in a lot of lineups. And then Anthony Davis, the Tin Man himself, reappeared. He had I don't even know what the injury was. He sat in the locker room for 2 hours, then came back while the Pelicans were up 30, and then Elvin Gentry, because he's such a moron, put AD back in the game. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
He banged his knee off a chair, but I didn't get why he stayed in the locker room for 2 hours. That didn't make any sense. And he came back out and played. Yeah,
it was a typical Elvin Gentry and typical Anthony Davis, just stuff that makes you just crazy if you're playing DFS. He dove in the stands trying to get a ball, and that's how he banged knees. You're right. So just crazy. However, if you play these guys, then maybe you had some success. Tim Frazier. Remember, if you're playing season long, pick up Tim Frazier. He's even with Drew Holiday, he's back. He's playing really well. Jimmy Buckets. I know on Twitter I was conversing with a lot of you guys. I know a lot of us played Melo over Butler in a lot of lineups, and that came back to bite us. Speaking of dream killer, Carmelo, go back to the Olympics, dude. You're killing us this year. But Jimmy Butler, fantastic. He's one of the best players in the NBA right now. And then my 2 sneaky ninjas of the night came through: Robin Lopez and Jordan Clarkson. Even though D'Angelo Russell was out, Luke Walton couldn't play my boy Jordan Clarkson 30 minutes. He still didn't. He played him 23 or something like that. But Jordan Clarkson had over 34 FanDuel points. Really nice night at 4.9K, way too cheap. So I love that play, and those guys came through. All right. So, like we mentioned at the top of the show, there's 13 games on Friday. It's impossible, because Tyler would kill me if we went through all the plays, and it'd be like a 4-hour show. So we're going to try to mention as many plays as we can, but it's not feasible to talk about all the guys. But we're going to do the best we can. We're going to try to keep this show to about an hour. You guys know me. I like to talk a lot, so I don't know if that's feasible, but we're going to do our best. And Tyler is going to beat me over the head if I try to ramble on too much at any one player. So with that said, let's talk about some over-unders and some games. Unfortunately, right now, there's only about half the games have over-unders, and some are pretty ugly. Like Miami, Detroit, stay away for the most part in that game. 189 over-under, that looks nasty. Memphis at Philly, 195 over-under, and San Antonio, Charlotte, 199 over-under. So those games look really nasty. Remember, on a 13-game slate, I mean, there's so much value out there, so many options. Especially in cash games, if you're nervous at all about a player, you don't got to play him. You're going to find better options. So stick to the games that are going to be high pace, have high over-unders. Because, I mean, there's going to be a lot of them on Wednesday. Speaking of those games with some nice over-unders, Toronto at Houston, 217.5. That's a nice game to target. Boston at Brooklyn, 214.5. Minnesota at New Orleans, 210. And Portland at Cleveland. An interesting game, 217.5. That one, Cleveland's favored by 11.5. So the blowout maybe concerns you a little bit. Portland is on a back-to-back. So that's some of the over-unders. Again, there's a lot of games that just we don't know yet due to injuries. Speaking of injuries, Tyler, I'm just going to go. There's a lot of people questionable, doubtful, all that stuff. I'm just going to run down the ones that I think are most important. People who are out tomorrow on Wednesday, TJ Warren is out. So that means for Phoenix, Brandon, hopefully, I think they're going to roll with the 3-guard lineup again, basically Brandon Knight, Eric Bledsoe, and Devin Booker. If they do that, I think Knight's in play again, even though he didn't come through for us a couple nights ago. He's still too cheap, so he's probably worth a tournament play. Justice Winslow's still out with that wrist, so that means, I know he killed us last game, but Josh Richardson's a nice tournament play. He just couldn't make a shot. He got 11. He played like 30 minutes and took 11 shots. I still like Josh Richardson and Tyler Johnson are decent tournament plays on Wednesday. Tyson Chandler is still out, so Alex Len is still a nice play. And D'Angelo Russell is going to sit out again. So I like my boy Jordan Clarkson again. And also if you want to play, Swaggy P and Lou Williams and those guys. Tournaments only, though. The Lakers, it's just still erratic with minutes. Don't get crazy with the Lakers. Lakers are only tournament guys for me. Don't even think about playing them in cash on a 13-game slate. I will personally come to your house and slap you around. And then Tyler will too. All right, guys that are questionable on Wednesday. Frank the Tank Kaminsky. This one makes me really angry because I've been playing him a lot. He's been really steady. So be on the lookout for that one. James Jones has a lip injury. CJ Miles. I mean, the Indiana's the team that you want to make sure you're focused on Wednesday when you're monitoring the news. CJ Miles is questionable with a knee, Miles Turner with an ankle, and Paul George with an ankle. So God only knows what's going to happen with Indiana. If those guys are out, Fat Al Jefferson might be in play because Atlanta is playing Indiana's playing Atlanta and Dwight Howard. So if you remember a couple nights ago, Indiana was playing, when Miles Turner was out, Indiana was playing Golden State. So horrible matchup for Al Jefferson. That's why I didn't play him in any lineups. But against Dwight, maybe he gets 24, 26 minutes. So Al Jefferson could be in play on Wednesday. Kevin Seraphin, maybe. Glenn Robinson, if CJ Miles is out, he's a decent punt. And if Paul George is out, he's a decent punt. And keep your eyes on Rodney Stuckey if you want to throw him in a tournament. I think he had 21 actual points on a couple days ago, so he's not a bad play either. Other guys that are questionable, Jay Crowder, again, he's always questionable, it seems. Dirk Nowitzki, God, that Achilles still. Andrew Bogut with a calf injury, Darren Williams with a calf, and George Hill with a thumb. Two guys that are probable, Anthony Davis. Well, he came back in the game, so you'd think he would play on Wednesday, but God only knows with him. And Jeff Teague with an ankle. Woo! All right, Tyler. I'm already out of breath, man. Let's how you feeling? You feeling all right?
I'll mention on Anthony Davis, they said that they're going to try to manage the swelling. So if it swells up, he might sit out.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, he's probably going to be a tournament only play for me. Just because of on a 13 game slate. I'm not going to risk him in cash on Wednesday with all his Tin Man issues.
I feel you there.
All right, so let's start rolling through the plays, my man. So Tyler, lead us into the point guards.
All right, top point guard on the board tomorrow. You got Russell Westbrook, 11.6K at Sacramento. Thoughts on Westbrook?
Yes, remember point guard's always loaded. So on a 13 game slate, it's especially loaded. So you don't need to go Westbrook in cash. He is coming on a back-to-back. Put up 59 points, fantasy points against the Lakers on Tuesday. He's always a good play. I don't think we need to talk about him too much. The only thing I'll mention here, just be wary that Sacramento is like slowest in the league in pace this year. So like if this game was last year, I'd be super excited for this game. The fact that Sacramento plays so slow and nasty these days, sure, I'm going to have some exposure to Westbrook. Just, he's not, by no means is he, do you have to play him in cash games on Wednesday?
Yeah, plus you got Westbrook on second of a back-to-back, which, you never know about that situation. Next guy on the board, you got Chris Paul, 9.3K at Dallas. Thoughts on Paul?
Yeah, Chris Paul, when he gets the minutes, he's good. He doesn't have the ceiling he used to. I think they absolutely blitz Dallas. Dallas is one of the worst teams in the league. So, I don't love the Chris Paul play for Wednesday.
I'm with you there. Next guy on the board, maybe one of my favorite point guard plays for tomorrow. You got Steph Curry, 8.8K against the Lakers. Lakers are on a second of a back-to-back. If you remember, the Lakers won that game earlier in the year, and so I think the Warriors may just come out and try to murder the Lakers. Thoughts on Steph Curry for tomorrow?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they do come out extra motivated, but sadly, I think they do obliterate the Lakers. So that makes Curry, even though he's still cheap at 8.8K, a tournament-only play for me. We've seen he's been better of late, but he's still not even really hitting value for that 8.8K price tag. Well, at least the last 3 games. He's come close, but he's a tournament-only play for me. I don't want him in cash. I'm worried they're going to blow out the Lakers.
I hear that. Next guy up, you got Kyle Lowry, 8.6K at Houston. Looks like a juicy matchup. Thoughts on Kyle Lowry?
Yeah, this looks super juicy, even though he's now I would say it would be like gravy juice, but since he's now skinny, it'd be like some Panera bread juice. It'd be like soup. It's going to be he's got soup dripping out of his drain.
So some Panera bread juice is now soup. Okay, yeah. I'm with you, I guess.
Yeah. Well, when he was big and chubby, he ate at Waffle House, so then he'd have pancakes with a bunch of syrup. Now he goes to eats healthy. He goes to Panera. He gets some like delicious soup and a half a sandwich.
I'm a fan of Panera Bread. Sadly, I've never had Waffle House, so I'm not with you on that reference too much.
What's funny is I actually have never eaten there either because I think they're only in the South.
I believe they are.
But I still am just familiar with them. It's basically like a Denny's, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought it was like fancier. I thought it was more like chicken and waffles and stuff like that, like dinner foods.
I don't know. Maybe our listeners can tell us. I think it's just like a Denny's. Something like that. Yeah, it's not fancy. I know it's not fancy. It's basically a place you go to when you're wasted, like super late at night. Because I think it's open 24 hours.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But so yeah, Lowry. Now, Patrick Beverly's back, so they're not going to put defensiveless Harden on Lowry. They'll probably put Beverly on Lowry for part of the game. So that worries me a tad. Also, Lowry's price has come up now. It was like 7.8 to 8K last week. Now it's 8.6K. So now he's getting pricey. He's leapfrogged. Like about a week ago, Isaiah Thomas was more expensive than him. Kemba Walker was more expensive. Now it's gone the other way. Those guys' prices have went down. So the price going up, that worries me a little bit. But I love the matchup. The over/under is fantastic. So he's a nice floor. So he's a solid play on Wednesday. The question is, how much exposure do we want? And are there going to be better guys that are cheaper? But he's if I had to choose between him and
You there? hear me?
What happened, dude?
You dropped out. I'm pretty sure.
When did I drop? What? See, like normally, like when I drop out though, it says like it'll say on my screen there's some type of issue, and I'm not getting that today.
Well, you are recording too, so it doesn't let you like completely drop out. Just so you know, when you're recording.
All right. So, and where did you lose me, or where did you?
I heard if I'm choosing between Lowry and then never heard anything else.
Okay. So I'll jump back in right with that. Okay.